Let your body soften, your breathing settle, and your mind drift slowly into the quiet world of the ancient past. As you rest, we will wander gently through the long story of the Hoplites, the iconic citizen soldiers of ancient Greece, men who stood shoulder to shoulder, shield to shield, not just fighting for their homes, but shaping the foundations of Western civilization. Let that world rise slowly around you, as the noise of the present fades like a distant tide. Imagine the warm breeze of the Mediterranean brushing softly across fields of olive trees, the pale stone of old farmhouses glowing under the afternoon sun, and the calm songs of shepherds drifting through the hills. This is where the story begins. In a Greece long before philosophers, before temples, before theaters, a world of small villages, simple farms, and early communities finding their identity. In the centuries after the collapse of the Mycenaean world, Greece was rebuilding, quietly, slowly, like the steady growth of new leaves after a long winter. People returned to the land, to herding, to small-scale farming. Communities grew more stable, and the first signs of organized society began to reappear. It was during this long, gentle rebirth that the foundations of hoplite warfare began to form. There were no great armies yet, only small groups of men who defended their homes when needed, armed with simple weapons, relying on courage and familiarity. But as villages strengthened into towns, and towns strengthened into early city-states, the need for organized, communal defense grew naturally. Conflict with neighbors, disputes over grazing lands, the protection of harvests, the security of trade routes, all slowly encouraged the development of a new kind of fighting, not the heroic duels of ancient epics, but collective defense, men standing together, bound by shared responsibility. A new idea began to take shape, that the strength of a community came not from a single hero, but from the unity of its citizens. This was the seed of the hoplite. As iron replaced bronze, armor became more accessible. The famous hoplon shield, large, round, deeply curved, gave each man not only protection for himself, but for the man beside him, and an extraordinary concept emerged, simple yet powerful. Your shield protects your neighbor, not just you. With that idea, the phalanx was born, a formation in which men supported one another physically, mentally, and emotionally, a wall of shields, spears, and disciplined bodies, moving as one living organism. Imagine yourself among them now, standing on a dusty plain under the bright Greek sun, the air warm and filled with the faint smell of pine. You can hear the soft shifting of armor, the quiet breaths of the men beside you, the gentle tapping of spear but against the earth. The hoplon shield rests on your left arm, its wooden grip firm, its rim touching the shield to your left. You shift your weight slightly, feeling the weight of your helmet, the snug fit of your greaves on your shins, the steady grounding of your sandals in the soil. There is a calmness in this formation, a closeness, a feeling that you are part of something larger than yourself. For the hoplite was not a professional soldier. He was a citizen, a farmer leaving his fields, a potter leaving his workshop, a shepherd leaving his flock. Ordinary men who, at the call of their city, took up shield and spear, and walked to battle for the sake of their families, their neighbors, and their homes. This connection between military service and civic identity would shape the entire political evolution of Greece. In Athens, the belief that those who fight for the city should have a voice in its decisions was a direct result of hoplite warfare. Standing shoulder to shoulder in battle led naturally to standing shoulder to shoulder in the assembly. The essence of Greek citizenship, shared responsibility, shared sacrifice, shared rights, came from the experience of standing in the phalanx. As you relax deeper, imagine the calm rhythm of the phalanx advancing, not charging wildly, but stepping forward in unison, slowly, steadily, like the tide rolling onto a beach. The sound of shields bumping lightly together, the soft crunch of earth under synchronized footsteps, the low murmur of commanders giving quiet instructions. It is not the chaos of later armies. It is order, discipline, and trust. The equipment of the hoplite was simple, but beautifully crafted. The helmet, often Corinthian in style, hugged the head and framed the eyes with a solemn, almost serene expression. The bronze cuirass, or sometimes a layered linen thorax, fit closely around the torso. The greaves protected the shins. The spear, long and balanced, extended the reach of the line. And beneath it all, the calm breath of the soldier steadying himself for the work ahead. The phalanx was designed for stability, not speed. Its strength came from unity, from the interlocked shields, from the shared pressure of bodies leaning forward as one. Even the battles themselves were slow, measured, almost ritualistic. Two phalanxes approached one another, grew close, and finally met with a heavy, difficult pressure, a pushing, a straining, a grinding contest of endurance. There were moments of chaos, yes, but much of phalanx warfare was a test of collective will, a deep, quiet struggle of strength and cohesion. As you drift deeper into relaxation, picture the wide, open plains of Boeotia, the rolling hills around Sparta, the gentle valleys of Arcadia, the familiar landscapes where generations of hoplites marched, trained, and fought. Think of the Spartans, the most disciplined of all hoplite warriors, trained from childhood in the art of endurance and silence, walking calmly into battle with red cloaks flowing behind them, their movements precise, controlled, as if performing a slow ritual they had practiced their entire lives. And think of the Athenians, citizen soldiers who defended their democratic city with pride, men who debated in the agora one day and marched out with shield and spear the next. The Persian Wars brought the hoplites to their greatest test. At Marathon, the Athenian phalanx broke a much larger army through discipline and daring. At Thermopylae, Spartans and their allies held a narrow pass with unwavering resolve. At Plataea, the united Greek hoplites pushed back the last of the Persian forces, with a collective strength unmatched in their world. The phalanx proved itself not only a weapon of war, but a symbol of Greek unity, of courage, and of shared purpose. Yet over time, warfare evolved once more. The Peloponnesian War fractured the Greek world. Old alliances broke. City fought city. The calm simplicity of hoplite warfare gave way to new strategies, new weapons, new types of soldiers. Light infantry, skirmishers, peltasts, archers, and later the long pike formations of Macedon reshaped the battlefields of Greece. Philip II of Macedon and his son Alexander the Great transformed the phalanx into something larger, taller, more complex, with spears twice the length of the hoplites. Their armies became professional, permanent, and far-reaching. And slowly, the classical hoplite, the citizen with his heavy shield and modest spear, faded from the center of military life. But his legacy endured, in the idea of the citizen soldier, in the belief that free men could stand together and defend their land not out of fear, but out of duty and honor. The hoplites shaped Greek culture, politics, and identity. Their discipline influenced Rome. Their formation echoed in medieval shield walls, and their values continue in the concept of national defense today. As your breathing grows softer and the world grows quieter, picture the hoplite not as a warrior of destruction, but as a symbol of cooperation, commitment, and unity. A man who fought not for glory, but for his family, his neighbors, his community. A man who placed a shield not before himself, but before the person beside him. And let that thought ease you gently into rest, knowing that the ancient world is softening, fading into calm twilight, and you are drifting peacefully with it. Allow the calm of the Mediterranean evening to settle like a warm blanket across your mind. Let the footsteps of marching hoplites fade into distant echoes. Let your thoughts drift slowly, like the quiet waves rolling onto a Greek shore. And now, simply rest, peacefully, comfortably, as the story of the hoplites settles into silence and carries you into deeper, softer sleep.